Very good afternoon, dear students. This is Kunjal Lotwala. Welcome you all on behalf of Agarwal Vidyavihar English Medium College in the session of written and spoken communication. I hope you remember that in last lecture I have discussed the poem Punishment in Kindergarten written by Kamla Das, in which I discussed the uh, analysis of the three stanzas. It means whole poem, but the question answer session is yet to discuss. So, moving ahead with the question answer session, as I would like to again remind you that short question answers will be asked from the poem. So, in brief, I would like to discuss the question answer here. So, the first question is, what is the line today? The world is a little more my own mean. The narrator, who is the narrator? Kamla Das. So Kamla Das, who is now an adult, has gained more confidence and greater control over her life. She is now satisfied with her life and she has gained an adult peace of mind. Painful incidents in childhood do not hurt anymore, and there is like the old teacher, there is not like the old teacher who can hurt her because of her adult viewpoint. So this is what they mentioned in the very beginning of the line, that today the world is a little more my own. I hope it is clear on your part. Moving ahead with the question 2. Who was the blue-frogged woman? Why does the poet remember her? The blue-frogged woman was a teacher who scolded the narrator for not playing with other children. The poet remembers her because she insulted her with harsh words, which put a deep cut on her heart. So this is how the words of the teacher made her insulted, which was really harsh words. What hurts more, physical punishment or harsh words? So what do you think? It may individual vary, but according to this poem, I think that the physical pain caused by a physical punishment heals over a period of time, but harsh words make a deeper cut. Words can break someone's heart. They can create deep hurt that does not heal up quickly. Thus, harsh words I think hurt more than physical punishment. Question 4. Why did the other children laugh at poet? The other children laughed at the poet in merriment. They enjoyed when the teacher scolded the poet. So this is what now they were getting this sadistic pleasure out of it. Why do you think the words of the blue-frogged woman are muffled now? Answer 5. The years have diluted the intensity of the pain, and the adult narrator is able to recount the incident with an adult peace. The years have reduced the intensity and harshness of the hurtful incident. Time and adult point of view have healed the heart, and the angry words and laughing faces are vague and unreal. So that's why now she is getting the adult peace. So as a result of it, now the blue-frogged women are muffled now. Sixth question. How different is the world today to the poet? As the poem is describing the juxtaposition of past and present, so the poet is now an adult and has gained an adult peace of mind. Painful incidents in childhood do not hurt anymore. She has now gained more confidence and greater control over her life. So how many speaking voices are there in the poem? There are two speaking voices. How? Because one of an adult and the other of a child. But these two voices are of a same person, right? So the poem moves, 8 question answer. The poem moves through two time zones. Which are they? Obviously, past and present. 9. Why did the teacher scold the child? The teacher scolded the child because the child sat alone without joining the playing schoolmates. They were in troop, and on the contrary, this child would like to be alone. And as a result of it, the teacher did not understand the child's temperament, and as a result of it, she scolded. Question number 10. To what is the teacher's scolding words compared? The teacher's scolding words are compared to pots and pans. Here, when I have discussed with you, simile has been used, figures of speech, and there also I made the point that the comparison between pots and pans, which when thrown make a lot of noise. Right? So, another question answer. Question 11. What are the teacher's angry words to the child? The teacher called the child peculiar for not joining her schoolmates having fun. So what kind of strange child you are? This is what she has said. What kind of peculiar child you are? Question 12. Why does the narrator say no need to remember the pain? The narrator, who is now an adult, is able to look back on the pain, childhood incident with peace, and time and adult point of view have healed the heart. So that's why she is telling that no need to remember the pain. Question 13. Why is the day described as honey colored? Honey colored means sweetness and peaceful day, the golden day, right? So the day which is described as golden colored day, which is also having the quality of honey, that is sweetness. So sweet and peace before the teacher scolded the child. Question 14. What drained the peace of the honey colored day? The same teacher's angry words drained the peace of the honey colored day. Question 15. What were the schoolmates doing? The schoolmates were sitting in a group on the lawn, and what they were doing? They were sipping sugarcane juice. And when they have observed, they have perceived that teacher is scolding this little girl, this kid. At that time, they looked back, turned back, and laughed at her. How did the schoolmates react to the teacher's angry words to the child? The schoolmates laughed in merriment at the child's tear. Question 17. What did the child do to cover up her hurt and pain? The child buried her face in the sun-warmed hedge. Like a flower, her face is also described as delicate, right? So this is what now she has described her pain. Question 18. What added to the hurt inflicted by the teacher? The ridiculing laughter of the schoolmates added to the hurt. Already teacher has thrown the pots and pans, and the students' laughter, which has also created the harshness. Question 19. What are the phrases used by the poet to express the healing power of time, reducing the hurt caused by the childhood incident? The angry words of a teacher are muffled now, and the laughing faces of the schoolmates only a blur. So this is what he is describing. Question 20. What metaphor does the poet use to describe life? The poet describes life as a journey with beloved halts and incidents. What do you understand? Question 21. What do you understand by the phrase adult peace without feeling hurt? Answer. The child is now an adult and has gained an adult peace of mind. Painful incidents in childhood do not hurt anymore. Question 22. How was the child different from her schoolmates? Answer. 22. Unlike the schoolmates who loved to play, she preferred to be alone. So that's how it shows the difference. Question 23. Why is the sun described as still white? The sun is still white because it seems to be harsh and cruel to the child due to the heat and also the harsh and cruel behavior of teacher and schoolmates. Question 24. Pick out the compound adjectives in the poem. When I have discussed with you, I discussed this also. So I would like to remind you again. Blue frocked woman, honey colored, then sun warm and still white. Question 25. Why are the children called funny? They laugh. Why they are called funny? Because they laughed at the others. Yes. This is somewhere 3-4 lines question answer. Describe the pain incident the child experienced in the kindergarten. On a beautiful peace day, the kindergarten children were out of picnic. The adult narrator remembers this incident which happened during her childhood, where all the other children were sipping sugarcane juice and having fun. The child was sitting alone and apart from the others. The blue frock teacher, who noticed these, scolded the child and called her peculiar for not joining others in their fun. On seeing this, the other children laughed at her and her tears. Unable to bear the shame and ridicule, the child buried her head in the hedge. The hurt and the pain of that day lingered in the mind of the child. Now, the years have diluted the intensity of the pain, and the adult narrator is able to recount the incident with an adult face. I hope it is clear on your part. Question number 2. What do you understand about the character of the child in the poem? The child is very shy and sensitive. This is clear from the way she reacted to the teacher's angry words. She is very easily hurt and cries for the slightest reason. When the teacher scolded her in the presence of schoolmates, she could not bear it. She wanted to hide and buried her face in the nearby hedge. She was an introvert and preferred to be alone. The fact that she carried the scar of that incident into her adult life shows how sensitive she was. She was peculiar, as the teacher called her, because she did not enjoy the usual fun and games children love. So this is what about the question answers of the punishment of kindergarten. I hope it is clear. I will provide you the material, text, PDF, material, I mean with the question answer. I'll provide things to you so that it will helpful to you to write down in exam also and prepare for the exam also. So thank you. Now moving ahead with the next prose, that is Toasted English, written by R.K. Narayan, who is an Indian English author. He is well known for his setting of Malgudi in his works of art. So Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer, Narayan Swamy, who is better known as R.K. Narayan. His lifespan is 1906 to 2001. Is one of the India's finest writers in English. So he is Indian English writer, a prolific writer. Prolific means productive writer who has contributed in English literature a lot. So Narayan published nearly 60 books in his writing career, spanning over 60 years. So during 60 years, he has written 60 books, and this 60 books comprises of short stories, novels, autobiography. So besides 15 novels, he wrote numerous short stories, essays, and autobiography. So most of his stories are set in Malgudi. So this is how no setting Malgudi is well known for his works of art. Setting means he has described that local where people uh, are from that setting. So each and every stories are describing that local. So if you are aware about this television show, the name is Malgudi Days. On Doordarshan earlier, it was telecasted. It was telecasting on Doordarshan. So if you would like to interested to watch it, it is still available on YouTube also. So it no various short stories at no common local, that is Malgudi, and the name of that telefilm is television show is Malgudi Days. So a fictional semi-urban South Indian town that he created. So this is the town which is situated at South India. The so it is talking about those people, South Indian people. So his writing is characterized by genial humor. Genial means friendly humor, gentle irony. So it is mixture of all sorts of taste. So humor, irony. Irony means saying one thing while meaning another, and compassionate realism. So contemporary society, the people's experience and everything he has described in his short stories and novels, where these short stories and novels are described at the common local, that is Malgudi. Some of his novels, Swami and Friends, Mr. Sampat, The Financial Expert, The Guide, The Vendor of Sweets. So all these novels are basically dealing with that one single local, that is Malgudi, and short stories have been adapted into film and television series. And on the basis of this, The Guide, if you remember, this movie is also well known. Played the actor, leading actor was Devanand. So this is how his stories has been even adapted for the films, well-known films, and television series. So Narayan received numerous awards and honors, including the Sahitya Akademi Award, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Vibhushan Award. So he was nominated to the Rajya Sabha in 1989, and his tenure in the upper house is best remembered for his fervent appeal. Fervent means persistent appeal to make the school bag lighter and restore to children the joys of childhood. So he was of the opinion that children should have the no enjoyable learning, teaching learning process, right? And they should no not burdened by the uh, bags. So this is what he was, his opinion regarding educational system was. Now moving ahead with the uh, gist of the essay, I would like to remind you here, this is not the story, this is an essay. So obviously his experience, his observation, his notion towards particular English language has been described here. So Toasted English is taken from Narayan's collection of essays titled Reluctant Guru, which was published in 1974. So this essay has been taken, this essay means this brief essay has been taken from the collection of his essays. So the book name is Reluctant Guru, which was published in 1974. So in this essay, Narayan records some of his impressions of America during his stint as a visiting professor at an American university in 1969. So, as a visiting professor, he'd been through America, and at that time, what he has observed, what kind of experience he had, this is what he is writing in this essay, and what kind of conclusion he can derive after observing this American system or American usage of English language. So he notices how Americans have adapted the English language to suit their needs and how, as a result, American English is different from its British counterpart. So he has observed that in America, how people are using American English rather British English. So as you know that if you come across dictionary also, if you access dictionary online also, you will observe this thing that how no the meaning and the spelling has been given to you with the bracket that in US or in no this is American usage or this is UK usage, so that is Britishers usage. So this is how the English varies. So this is what he is describing in this essay. He concludes the essay by underlining a similar need to evolve a form of Indian English that respects the norms of the language and yet respond to our cultural context. And finally, he derived to the conclusion after observing the American scenario, American usage of English. He is deriving to the conclusion of this essay that how we means Indian can also use the English in such a way not to copy the UK English or American English, but how as an Indian we can contribute to English in our own way of usage. So our cultural our cultural terms and usage we can involve or we can use in this English. So that's how we need to make Bharat brand English rather than American English or English, Britishers English. So this is what his observation and his conclusion is all about in this essay. Now, moving ahead with the detailed discussion of the essay, here the title has been given Toasted English. Now the question is why he has given the title of Toasted English. You know what is the meaning of toast when you change the form of the bread and it became no toast. The same way, the toasted English is also something where you are changing in the language of English form and then you are making the another form of English. So that's why toasted English. So toasted English means the process of modifying the English. Now modify means to change the form, which is called toasted English. So that's why he has given the title Toasted English. The way we change the form of the bread and make the toast, the same way Americans are changing the form of the English and making it toasted. So that's why it is known as Toasted English. So moving ahead with the first paragraph, in the American restaurants, they call for toasted English, referring to English muffins. So in American restaurant, they ask for what they ordered for toasted English, referring to, and this toasted English is referring to English muffins. You know muffins, that small shaped bread, right? So which though being made in America, though this toasted English they have asked in this they have asked this in American restaurant. Obviously this is basically rooted from the British, but they have this restaurant is in America, so obviously it is made in America. So what happened? It is made in America and now retain English as a sort of concession to their origin. So now retaining means keep continuing. Now it keep continue English as a sort of concession. Concession means a kind of authority to their origin. Though they have copied or imitated the whole process from the British, but now what they are telling that this is their authority, right? Because it is made in America, so it is Americans authority. So the same way it is applied to the language also. So the same may be said of their language too. And what these Americans have done, they have applied the toasted English the same way they have applied to this muffins also. The way they have applied to this muffins, the same way they have applied to this English language also. So Americans too went through a phase of throwing out the British but retaining their language and letting it flourish on American soil. So, what so the American were also, they went through the all phases of colonialism and all such things. They would also like to throw these Britishers away from them, from their lifestyle also. But what they have done, they keep continue with their language and letting it flourish on American soil. And they have made that American, so made in American way of using English. So they have flourished this English language on the American soil. So the seed was basically from British, but at the same time they have grown this seed of language in the on this American soil, and they have nurtured in a way of American way of life. So the resultant language is somewhat different from its Britishers counterpart. So as a result of it, what is the outcome? The language outcome is become that somewhat different from its British counterpart. Though the seed was basically from British, though the language is basically English language is basically from British, but the outcome is something different from that British language. So it became the American language. So it may be said to have gone through a process of toasting, and that's why how the form of the this English language has been changed from British to when it derived to America, and when it was nurtured by this American people on their American soil, the whole form is being changed. So one noticeable result of these toasting is that much of the formalism surrounding the use of English has been abandoned. So this is noticeable change that one can observe, that the toasting, due to toasted of English or due to toasting of this English, what kind of change has occurred? That the formalism surrounding use of English has been changed. So the way the set of grammatical rules that the Britishers were strictly following, Americans, for their feasibility, they have changed it. To make it more feasible, to make it more easy, they have changed the way of using grammar. Formalism means the attention to the grammatical rules that they have changed. And as a result of it, they made the English more easy. So easiest way of using language, that is what these Americans have done, or no, the way they have grown on their soil. So this is the beginning of the toasted English essay. Remaining portion I would like to deal with you in next lecture. Thank you for patience listening.